Right, well, we start our tour today in the village of Rolleston, just up the road from my uncle's farm in Fiskerton. Used to come down here, as I said earlier, in 1960s. This was our holiday destination, my Uncle Bill's farm. Like I say, this is Rolleston. We used to walk down and go to a little shop there and pick up goodies. And this is Occupation Lane, heading towards my uncle's farm. This is the road we used to walk along. Hasn't changed at all, still narrow. Still got the hedgerows. We're approaching an old level crossing that in those days, to let you know how busy this road was, it was the old-fashioned gates, and it was permanently closed to the road. It was open all the time, thanks sat-nav. It was open all the time to trains, so if you wanted to drive along this road you had to stop, ring a bell, and the old boy used to come out of the signal box, open the gate for you, let you through, and then close the gates again. So you can guess how much traffic was on this road then. Not much more now with the look of it. This is the road heading towards Uncle's farm, and we will actually pass it on the right, but our destination at the moment is the station, where after the well, my uncle's farm had a well, but sadly I think a goat fell down it, and it failed its water test one year, so he had to get his water from the station. Fortunately, the station master was a friend of his, a drinking buddy, and that's where he got his water from. This is the old signal. Oh, look a bit on the skew. Got a nice story about this signal box. It was again in the 60s. I would have been about 8 or no, not even 8, probably 7. And it used to be my favourite place to go of an evening. And my mum and dad always knew if I wasn't around the farm where I was, because they'd come and fetch it. I'd be sat with the signalman, and he'd be telling me stories of railway stories, probably where I got my interest from. His wife used to come up with his sandwiches regularly, and his flask of tea. And we'd spend many a happy hour. I'd be sat there by the fire. Used to be a lovely fire in there. And he'd just tell me stories of trains and railways, and brilliant. And as I say, Mum and Dad always knew where I was going to be. If it got to tea time or a bit later, one of them would come and fetch me, and I'd be sat there enthralled listening to old signalman's stories. So there you go. Looking a bit the worse for wear now. I think it's got a preservation order on it, so hopefully it'll be there for many years to come. This was the station. Changed a bit now. That's the station master's house. I can't remember his name. My uncle's mate, the station master, and there used to be a tap there on the platform where he'd draw the water from. It's long gone, but as you can see, it's been modernised. Oh, just a bit of live voice. This is Occupation Lane, and on the left here was my Uncle Bill's farm. It's actually quite a nice day. There were 2 entrances. I think actually that old power line thing there I used to play under as a kid. And that was in the field where Joy used to keep her horse. It's all changed beyond recognition now. It's now a big equestrian centre. Probably quite appropriate. What you're seeing there was actually part of all the fields. This wasn't the actual bit where my uncle lived with his caravans or living van, showman's wagon. That was all fields there, and that's where I used to play. I just remember I used to sit under it and look up. And this would have been the entrance to the farm. I might be able to show you a still picture taken here of my dad stood by Joy's Mini, but that was where the entrance was. That was the gates that used to lead into where he lived, and his house wagon, living wagon, would have been just there, and over there was the other caravans. God blimey, that brings back some memories. That was a few years ago at my
Sister Wendy, if you're watching this, I bet this brings back a few memories for you as well, doesn't it? I mean, apart from all the buildings and things, not much has changed. Come over here with my little camera as a sort of a 7 or 8 year old taking pictures of the trains going by there. The old DMUs as they were. And on a Saturday, my uncle would take one into Newark to go to the market. Brilliant. Now over there, well, a bit further up, there used to be quite a big sort of, it was called the Willow Holt, and it was just a load of willow trees. And my uncle used to tell me it was haunted. I think it was just to keep me out of there, but I still went, like kids do. It's a shame you haven't got smelly vision, because it smells very countrified. Quite nice actually. Yeah, that was it really. That was my Uncle Bill's farm, where we'd have our holidays in the 60s. This is the lovely old village of Morton. And there is the Full Moon pub, my uncle's local, which we used to walk down to from the farm most evenings. It's quite a walk, it's about 3 miles, but yeah, I used to love it. I used to sit out with a bottle of Coke sometimes and my Vimto and packet of crisps. And then we'd walk back to the farm and light up the oil lights, because there was no electric. Oh. No, and that's the little sign I always remember reading. I'll let you read it yourselves. I used to know that off by heart, that little poem. Ah, brilliant. Wow, this brings back some memories. Wow. Happy ones, very happy ones. Yes, the old farm, like I say, we had no mains power. Used to really love it. It's nice to think some places just haven't changed. And it hasn't really, so there you go. I thought I'd just share that with you.